Hello, friends, and welcome back or welcome to my channel. This is Liliana Blackstar, and I am bringing you astrology updates and energy updates for the week of February 8th through February 17th. This is the last 10 degrees of Aquarius sun. So the sun has been in Aquarius, and beginning on February 8th, it is moving through the third decan of Aquarius. These are the last 10 degrees. So from the 19th degree through the 29th degree, 20th degree through the 29th degree. We are moving in the sun moving in the last segment of Aquarius season. So all of Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, but each individual decan, these 10-degree segments, are also subruled by a planet. And so the third decan of Aquarius is subruled by the moon. So you can think of the moon as the shift manager for this last section of Aquarius. Overall, the transits and lessons of the moon are going to be very important right now. So if you want to think of it as the moon is like our planet of the week, so to speak, or a good planet for you to study. And it's just also a planet to be watching the transits and movements of the moon during this time, because the sun is in this section of Aquarius that is sub-ruled by the moon. So the moon represents our emotional landscape. It is our moods and our feelings that are always swiftly changing. The moon changes signs every 2.5 days. And our moods change very quickly too, depending on our surroundings, depending on what's happening internally and externally. Um, how our needs are being met, if we're being nurtured, if we feel safe, etc. There's a lot of things that influence our feelings and our moods. And the moon also symbolizes our instincts, our reactions, our intuition, how we pick up on vibes from other people, and our subconscious patterns. So the moon offers insights into our inner world, and it mirrors the cyclical nature of life in the way that the moon is going in these phases of approaching or retreating. The moon is something that is going through these phases, and so do we, and so does life. So the moon's influence is deeply personal, and it shapes our emotional needs and reactions. And this can be based on the zodiac sign it occupies, both in your natal chart and by transit of what's going on each day with the moon. So in your birth chart, it signifies your emotional habits, your nurturing style, your receptivity, and it offers you a key to navigate the intricate parts of human emotions, right? And the moon in transit guides us to attune to this more cosmic rhythm or these cosmic patterns and cycles to help us navigate all the different range of emotion and feeling and intuition that we have just over and over again every month. So over the next 10 days, the transits and aspects of the moon are really important, as I said, because the sun is moving through this third decan of Aquarius, which is subruled by the moon. And during this time period, we are having a full moon. So there's going to be a full moon in Leo on February 13th of 2025. Before that point, the moon is in a waxing gibbous phase, so it is growing in energy, growing in strength as it approaches this full moon energy, right? And then on the night of February 12th, I believe, I'll have to check my timing here. The night of February. Oh, I'm sorry. It's the night of February 11th that we will have the full moon in Leo. So the full moon will be 100% full really early morning on February 12th. So the night of the 11th is when we have that really bright, growing full moon in the sign of Leo. But I'm going to get to that in a little bit. For now, we're just going to still talk about this energy of the last 10 degrees of Aquarius season. Can you believe that Aquarius season is already almost over? We're going to be heading into Pisces season beginning on February 18th. So we just have this last little segment of Aquarius season. So our card of the Decan, or our card of the week, for this last section of Aquarius is the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords. It is the minor arcana card that is associated with the last 10 degrees of Aquarius. And this is also associated with the moon and Aquarius, and therefore it can be seen as a card of the moon in Aquarius. So the Seven of Swords is a tarot card that encourages us to be cautious and vigilant in our actions. We see this figure, he is kind of sneaking away from a situation. He's got some swords and he's tiptoeing away from the camp. There's a reason he's practicing caution, maybe strategic retreat, a little bit of hiding his intentions from everyone. He is not wanting to be seen publicly at this time. He's got to do things. This is like moving in the shadows, right? So we all have times that we need to kind of move in the shadows and pay attention to like keeping our intentions maybe closer and to our heart, like tucked in our sleeve, not quite shown to everyone. So at the same time, though, this card is prompting us to assess, make sure we are acting with integrity and honesty, right? We do have times when we don't necessarily want to be advertising everything about ourselves outward to the world. But is our reason for this aligned with our integrity? Are we sneaking around because we are trying to take advantage of people? Or are we strategically retreating and strategically like keeping things quiet as a matter of protection and safety for ourselves or others, right? We have to sometimes carefully plan our actions and be aware of potential risks or hidden agendas. Other people might be the ones that are sneaking around. If we get this card, it could be this card warning us that someone else is being strategic and sneaky and not being forthright about all of their intentions, right? So this card can symbolize themes of deception, betrayal, strategic retreat, and a reminder to exercise prudence and ethical conduct. This card is urging us to navigate our challenges with transparency and integrity, reminding us to be mindful of the impact that our actions might have on others, but also being mindful that like not everyone needs to know our business. So this is a card of the moon because the moon is sometimes hidden. The moon has a dark side that is away from us. When we look up, we see one side of the moon, we don't see the other side. The moon has waning phases where it is at a dark moon, we don't see the moon at all, or Sometimes the moon is just a little sliver up in the daytime and we don't see it at nighttime, right? So sometimes um, this lunar energy, we have to trust like our intuition and our vibes about, is this a time that I need to be like shining bright like a full moon, or is this a time that I need to be a little more subtle and in the shadows, the way that a dark moon or a crescent moon is? So, and what are my reasons for this, right? The moon is very much about our feelings and our intuition and our vibes and our emotions that are very much about our connection with other people. So, am I being secretive for the right reasons? Is it because I'm being selfish, or is it because I'm trying to protect or be kind, or is my nurturing of myself and others somewhat dependent on using maybe a little bit of discrepancy and strategy at this time, right? So this is how it's a card of both the moon and Aquarius, because Aquarius is that air sign that is very like sometimes emotionally detached in favor of logic and in favor of strategy and like thinking intellectually about things. And it's not that this is a time of lacking emotion, but knowing that the way that we show our emotion needs to be strategic, right? We cannot be outwardly freaking out over every little thing, and that's not going to necessarily help us achieve our goals. So, I do have a longer podcast episode about this card, about the moon and Aquarius energy with this card. So, check out that podcast episode that is here in my channel. To go deeper, this is a really good time to review this card, meditate on this card, and just go a little deeper with this card through this time period as we are in these last 10 degrees of Aquarius. And if you have any planets in the last 10 degrees of Aquarius in your birth chart, you might want to take a special look at this card and see what special messages it has for you regarding that planet in your birth chart. So we also have runes for this time period. So last week I did already talk about the runic fortnight of Gebo or Gebo. This is the runic fortnight that began with the new moon in Aquarius and is lasting through the waxing moon period. So that is through February 11th. This is still our rune, and this is the rune of gift, exchange, reciprocity, reciprocation, and generosity. So this rune for the next couple of days is still our rune of the runic fortnight. And this rune is about the concept of giving and receiving. It emphasizes the importance of reciprocity and the exchange of gifts, whether these are tangible or intangible. And this rune relates to the bonds of friendship, alliances, marriage, and the interconnectedness of individuals within a community. So this rune is connected to this Aquarius energy because it is about a social exchange. So this might be a physical gift, but it might be the exchange of knowledge or the sharing of community space, the ways that we connect with each other, right? So this is an important energy to tune into at this time. And then beginning with that full moon on the night of February 11th and the morning of February 12th, we begin the next runic fortnight. And this runic fortnight will be from February 12th through the 27th of February. And it is the runic fortnight of Wunjo. Wunjo is the rune of joy, harmonious connection, fellowship, and celebration. So you can think of this rune like the image of a flag at the top of a flagpole, those like triangle flags. It's like they're decorations for a celebration. This is what I think of when I see this rune. It's a celebration flag. It is some kind of symbol of a celebration that is happening. There's joy, there's fellowship, and human joy is something that we very much prefer to share with others. Celebrations and parties are a universal human experience in all of our societies and cultures. And in particular, celebration itself is often used to mark some kind of union or human connection. These are weddings and births and alliances, treaties, and social days of remembrance or victory. We like to put our flags up and celebrate these joyous moments. So Wunjo is about all of these types of celebration and these moments of joy when we are being connected with other people. Wunjo is also the joy of friendship, the spark and excitement that we feel when we meet someone new and we just click, or we feel some kind of connection with someone. It's the joy of old friends seeing each other for the first time in a long time, and the joy of the excitement when you are getting to know someone new. Simple joys of companionship and connection and like being with people, right, is joyful. So this rune speaks to the beauty of how things flow harmoniously when people care about each other. The strongest relationships are built on friendship and mutual respect, with lots of moments of joy and play and fun sprinkled in. So this runic fortnight can be serving as a reminder to connect with the joy and celebration in our communities. If we take ourselves too seriously, then we fall away from the joy of connection into aggressive tribalism and hostility towards those who do not conform or share our beliefs, right? So that flag of friendship can be wielded as a battle flag if we lose sight of mutual respect and if we lose sight of the ability to find joy in connecting with those who are different from us. So Aquarius is very much the sign of friendship. And this runic fortnight begins with the full moon in the sign of Leo. Leo is a sign of fun and play. So it's perfect for this runic fortnight, in my opinion, to begin on the Leo full moon of the Aquarius lunar month because it's friendship and it's joy, beginning with that Leo full moon energy. So this lunar fortnight is urging us to take some time for play and joy and celebrating your connections and your friendships and your relationships and the way that you uplift each other and hold each other up and the way that your communities make each other stronger and more resilient. You have to have that community glue, those moments of fun and joy, so it's not just all work and stress when you're together. All right, so moving forward, we are moving into this last 10 days of Aquarius season. We had on February 8th a moon in Cancer, and also that moon in Cancer on February 9th. On February 8th, the Saturn Trine Mars aspect became exact. So this Saturn Trine Mars has been going on for quite some time, and it's going to continue going on for another, week or maybe 10 days after this also. But it was really exact on the 8th, so that's kind of the peak of this energy. And then we will have this energy coming again after Mars turns direct. It will turn around and continue to have more of this trine with Saturn. So this is really a signature energy that we're experiencing for quite a long period. And both Mars and Saturn are considered malefic planets. They aren't usually associated with bringing blessings, but with bringing challenges. So a trine aspect, though, is usually associated in some kind of positive light. In a trine aspect, we have two planets working together in harmony. So here we have Saturn and Mars working together in harmony to bring us their challenges. So it's not necessarily like the blessing, easy, happy challenges, although there are benefits to this transit. There are benefits and hardships to any transit. So Saturn is teaching us about responsibility, and Mars is teaching us about patience, and they're both kind of testing us. And in this trine aspect, they're like supporting each other in those tests. Mars is like, oh, hey, Saturn in Pisces, I see what you're doing there. I like that. And I'm going to help you do that by also doing what I'm doing in Cancer, and vice versa. Especially with both planets in water signs, Mars is retrograding in Cancer, Saturn is in Pisces. These are challenging our emotions and our feelings in some very profound ways at this time. And they're like working together. We've got a tag team of Mars and Saturn working on our emotions right now. It might not be the most fun, but there are positive things to learn from this too. So, Mars retrograde has been slowing down or forcing us to slow down our usual drive and urges to reflect on how we assert ourselves and how we channel our energy. And Saturn in Pisces has been really urging us to think about structure and responsibility and perseverance, especially related to spirituality and religion and emotion, right? And so their harmonious trine aspect is kind of allowing us to revisit past efforts, refine our strategies, and approach these challenges with more patience and determination. Thank you, Saturn. Thank you, Mars retrograde. This is an excellent time for making steady progress on projects or commitments as Saturn's influence brings focus, and the Mars retrograde is fostering this careful, deliberate action. So, the lesson I think of this transit is to embrace persistence and thoughtful planning and tuning into this energetic signature to build a solid foundation for future success while avoiding reactivity or acting impulsively with your decisions. So while this aspect was exact on February 8th, we are going to continue feeling its influence for several days after that day. So watch for this energy of the Mars trine Saturn in your life and see what comes up. On February 9th, we have the Mercury Cazimi. So Mercury has been in a conjunction with the sun for quite a while. Mercury's in Aquarius, the sun is in Aquarius. When a planet is within like 10 to 12 degrees of the sun, we call it a combustion. It is scorched by the light of the sun. It's not visible to the naked eye at all. The planet has disappeared into the light of the sun. And so during that combustion period, it's like the sun takes on the role and energy of that planet. So in this case, the sun has taken on this mercurial energy. It has taken on the jobs and duties of Mercury. So while a planet is combust, it is considered somewhat weakened but the sun is now doing that job. So the sun is doing the job of Mercury, which is communication and commerce, trade, travel, critical thinking, problem solving. All of these are kind of like the sun is like, don't worry about it, I've got it, right? And Mercury is no longer a separate entity with its own agency to rule over these. It has to kind of defer everything to what the sun is also teaching in the sign of Aquarius. So the sun is now ruling both the heart and the mind. And this can relate to some confusion and chaos around a time when a Mercury is combust. It kind of can be similar to a Mercury retrograde. Even if Mercury is not retrograde, I find that the combustion period can kind of have some of that energy of similar to a retrograde. But then in the very middle of the combustion period, there is an exception to the rule. And so for a very short period, the planet is in exact conjunction with the sun, and it is crossing over the heart of the sun. And this period is called a Cazimi. And when a planet is Cazimi, that planet takes the throne of the sun, and now that planet is the one doing the job of itself and the sun. That planet is strengthened. So Mercury is Cazimi on February 9th. It takes back its own power and the power of the sun. And this is just a very short time period that Mercury will be Cazimi, and it kind of becomes the most powerful planet of the chart on that day. And many people would say that a period of Mercury Cazimi might be the best time to petition Mercury or Hermes for help, or to do any Mercury-based planetary magic. Your window of opportunity is very small, however, as the Cazimi only lasts for several hours. So that is on February 9th, just for part of February 9th. And then it goes back into the combustion range as it emerges from the other side of the sun and it's still in conjunction, but now it's back in that combustion energy for the next 10 days after February 9th. Okay, so other energy that we have upcoming this week, there is that Leo full moon coming up on February 11th and 12th. So the Leo moon is generally a really good time to have fun and feel good. Leo energy encourages us to express ourselves and celebrate that which makes us unique and special. So dress up, go out dancing, do your hair and makeup, post selfies. The Leo moon is a great confidence booster, and we all deserve to feel good about ourselves sometimes, right? So the Leo moon is also a great time to share your art or music or writing, whatever it is that you create, your special talent, your special art. The Leo moon is a good time to just show it off. You're allowed to show off your work. You're allowed to receive compliments and let yourself kind of shine. Your creativity is unique and one of a kind, and there are people in the world who will appreciate what you have done. They don't know about it if you don't show it to them, right? So with this full moon in Leo, this Leo energy is amplified, and it doesn't matter if you have planets in your birth chart or Leo or not. This full moon helps us all to feel this Leo energy of creativity and fun. It's a fun time to do art. It's a fun time to play, dance, just let go of some tension, We've all been a little stressed out, and this Leo moon in the middle of Aquarius season. Aquarius season can feel very serious, right? And the full moon is always about balance. We have to remember to balance out the Aquarius energy with Leo energy. We have to remember this energy of celebration and joy and fun, or we end up taking ourselves way too seriously and causing problems, right? So, we need to balance between the Aquarius energy and the Leo energy. That fixed air energy is important. That Aquarius seriousness, that Saturnian energy is very important. But if we're in that too much without taking a break and having some fun, celebrating ourselves, celebrating our successes and victories, then that Aquarius energy is going to become a drudgery, right? So there's something here to study the balancing of the Aquarius energy with the Leo energy. We need to have both. The Leo creativity is that creativity from, a personal need to create something. You want to create art for the sake of creating art for yourself, your self-expression. And Aquarius is also a very creative sign, and that creativity comes from a group need. It is the ability to create something that serves the whole. It is the invention of things that help our society or help our culture, help our group, help our family. So we need to have this creativity in balance between both Aquarius and Leo, where sometimes we are creating for ourselves for fun, and sometimes we're creating to problem solve and to help support our communities or help other people. We have to be doing both. At the time of the full moon, there is something else going on. There is Uranus in a fixed T-square with both the moon and the sun. So Uranus in Taurus will be forming a T-square with both the moon and the sun at the time of the full moon. On one side of Uranus, we have the sun in Aquarius, making a square aspect. And on the other side of Uranus, we have the moon in Leo, making a square aspect. So while the sun and Uranus are in opposition to each other, they are both squaring Uranus. All three of these planets are connected as the sun and moon make this opposition. This is an aspect pattern known as a T-square, and it is considered to be quite challenging. So this T-square is involving 3 of the 4 fixed signs. It has a very fixed energy signature lesson, bringing up themes of stubbornness or rigidity, pride, and arrogance. People with a lot of personal planets in the fixed sign are probably going to feel this square aspect the most strongly, but it's going to impact all of us in one way or another. Uranus is known as the awakener, and in modern astrology, people associate Uranus with Aquarius. It does have a very strong, similar energy to Aquarius. Uranus is the awakener, and it serves to bring change by shaking things up in unexpected ways. It does things outside the box, it does things that are unpredictable, unexpected, things that we couldn't see coming, but we're then forced to respond to those things, whether we planned for it or not. Uranus is that energy of like the earthquake shaking us awake and making us realize, oh, the foundation of this building really needs some work and it's not going to survive another earthquake, right? So we have to like sometimes get shaken out of our complacency or have something shocking or unexpected happen that wakes us up and makes us realize what is the thing that needs to change or forces something to change because the thing that we were doing is suddenly gone or not working anymore. So with this square aspect with both the moon and the sun in a square with Uranus, I think that we can expect some kind of surprise or unsettling thing or like a major shakeup around this full moon. Whether it's at the exact time of the full moon or not, I don't know, but there's some kind of challenge, some kind of unexpected thing that shakes up our sense of reality, shakes up our groundedness. And the ways that the fixed signs can be really like stubborn and rigid, this is going to like really challenge that of like, you can't continue being rigid and stubborn at this time. You are being forced to do things differently. You're being forced to maybe see things from a different perspective, swallow your pride, be humbled a little bit, and not cling so strongly to the way that you've always done things. You need to perhaps do things a little differently than you have in the past to respond appropriately to whatever this shakeup is. So there's some kind of challenge, and we have to remember the challenge is coming from Taurus, which is about our resources, our sense of security and safety. And the square from Taurus is going both towards the sun in Aquarius and the moon in Leo. So those are where some of the answers and compromises are. So we need to remember that whatever this shakeup is that is making us feel insecure or challenging our sense of safety, and our connection to our resources in whatever way, we need to respond through the lens of both Leo and Aquarius. We have to balance that Leo and Aquarius energy. So, friendship, sharing, generosity, collaboration, humanitarianism, humor, play, not taking yourself so seriously, having some fun, remembering to celebrate the good things, remembering to have gratitude for the good things. These are the tools that we're going to need to apply to that Taurus Uranus challenge, whatever that may be. So, otherwise, there's not really a whole lot else happening through the end of Aquarius season. We have that Saturn trine Mars ongoing. We have the full moon and the moon sun Uranus trine. And other than that, there's a little bit of space this week to breathe and try to gather ourselves and collect our energy and respond. Just maybe a little bit of a break from a lot of the chaotic astrology energy that's been ongoing. So that's kind of the good news. Just be aware of whatever's coming up, something unsettling, surprising around that full moon energy that you might have to respond to. You're being challenged to respond differently than you normally would and respond in ways that are still thinking about others. Remember this Seven of Swords energy. There might be a need to kind of move strategically. And remember that right at that full moon, we also step into this Wunjo energy of remembering to celebrate the joy of our connections with others. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. I hope you all have a lovely, blessed end of Aquarius season, and we will be back again to talk about the beginning of Pisces season around February 18th. So, see you then.